Evening and welcome to The Debate. In studio tonight, Jermaine Pennant and Ray Parlour here to discuss all the day's big footballing stories. Only one place to start, that's the Nou Camp. Just goal number 600 for Lionel Messi. 3-0 Barcelona. Is it all over for Liverpool? We'll also be looking back to last night, Tottenham, and why they're still very much in their tie. Speaking of Tottenham, Yang Vertonghen's head injury once again has brought football's protocols into the spotlight. We'll be joined by an expert who wants to see changes in the way these are dealt with. Plus, with two Gooners in the studio, of course we'll look ahead to Arsenal against Valencia, and we'll mention Chelsea too. And with Frank Lampard's derby only drawing tonight, that's really put the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of the Championship playoff places. We want to hear from you as well. You can tweet us at Sky Sports PL using the hashtag The Debate. This is The Debate. Jermaine, I want to start with you. You were so hopeful, weren't you? That second half for Liverpool. They had so much promise, and now, what does it look like?
I'm gutted, I'll be honest. Like I said, when they came out, they looked strong, positive. I thought, a goal was definitely going to come, and going back to Anfield with that one-goal aggregate would have been fantastic. But losing 3-0, you would think that Liverpool played badly. But I'll say over the 90 minutes, Liverpool were the better team, and it just shows the firepower of Messi, Lionel Messi.
That is a strong statement. Would you say they were the better team?
I thought they certainly caused quite a few problems for Barcelona's defence. I mean, there's some really good chances. Milner had one. You see the kick off the line when it was 3-0, and that could have really put them back into the game. 3-1, because 2-0 at home is quite doable against Barcelona. But yeah, I think it was pretty even. But Barcelona, we know they're so strong on the break. We saw right at the end of the game, the 3v1 situation, that's what they can do to you. And Barcelona are very experienced in Europe. And game management, just at some times in that game, you just got to stay in it. Don't concede the next one, don't concede the third one, and you're still in the game. And look, you can't take nothing away from Barcelona. That third goal, I mean, the free kick. Only Messi could, in an important game like the Champions League semi-final, only someone like Messi can ping. Well, you can say Ronaldo maybe as well, but that was a magnificent free kick.
What do you think Liverpool will be more disappointed with, Jermaine? The goals they conceded or the goals they didn't score? Or both? Well,
the goals that they conceded was,
One's unstoppable.
You could put two goalkeepers in there and you're not saving that one. I think the first one, maybe Virgil was a little bit, ball watching. He could have done better, so that, they'll obviously talk about that. The second goal, again, it's very unlucky because Fabinho gets a tackling which goes into the path of Suarez, off his knee, off the crossbar, back into... there's not much you really could do about that, so, it was unlucky. It just wasn't Liverpool's night. They had chance after chances, but it wouldn't go in.
The way you're talking about it, the positivity there would suggest that Klopp got his tactics right because, he changed things around. No Firmino, although he was coming back from injury. Gomez out on the right-hand side instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. So with all that positivity, you wouldn't question their tactics.
No, not at all. I think they created enough chances. I think they really got behind with the pace. They really, Piqué at times was treading water, especially on that right-hand side as well. So I think that tactically, Gomez come into the team. That was probably the only one, really. Firmino probably wasn't 100% fit, and maybe could have played the last 15 like we saw. But Gomez was the one who could be a bit more defensive-minded than Trent Alexander-Arnold. And he thought, well, we need three centre-halves really at the back to just counteract. Because if you watch them way they play, Albert on the left-hand side plays like a left winger, but Busquets just sits in the back four and play like a three at the back. That's how they play. And I think that's what Gomez would just say, right, you be more of a defensive-minded unit tonight. We love Trent Alexander-Arnold, the way he gets forward and puts the balls into the box, but it probably wasn't the right game for him tonight. And that is tactically aware that he's looking at it and saying, this is what we need to do if we're away from home. But
you can look at it a different way because sometimes you say that the best line of defence is attack. So if you've got Trent on there and he's bombing forward, you're not going to see Alba, up the field as much. He's going to have to be looking after Trent. And obviously, Alba was the one who put in the great cross for the first goal for Suarez. So, Ray's probably right in what he's saying, that, you're at Barcelona, so you want to, just protect and have more of a defensive shape. But, who knows what would have happened if Trent was there and Alba wasn't getting that much joy, because he wasn't.
Well, I'm sure he'd be playing in the next leg. Whether they got those, whether they're out of the side, look, you still got to believe you can get an early goal. I know the away goal could kill them because of the firepower they've got. But they'd be so disappointed. I mean, they really put a lot into that game tonight, and very unlucky not to at least score 1 goal. Probably could have had 2 goals with the chances they had. The keepers made a couple of good saves. So Jurgen Klopp, I'm sure, in a post-match interview, will say, look, the players give everything, and we was unlucky not to get on that score sheet. On another day, Salah would score. Firmino could have scored off the line. So Milner had a great chance right down the keeper's throat. Could have gone either side. It would have been a goal. So they had their chances in that game.
It all depends on what Barcelona turn up as well. I'm hoping that it's the same Barcelona that turn up to Manchester United, because they wasn't, Man U was the better team in that tie. So I'm hoping that Barcelona turns up and Liverpool are all guns blazing, and with that firepower they've got up front. Today's goals obviously didn't come. The chances that they had, if they had them chances again at Anfield, I'm sure they'll put them away.
If you didn't see the game and you see that Messi has scored 2 goals, you'll assume that he's run the show, run Liverpool ragged.
Absolutely.
Was that the case?
No, not at all. He was quiet. But that's what fantastic world-class players do. They keep them quiet for 90 minutes, 80 minutes, and, just a blink of an eye, score magic goals like he did. So, no, Liverpool done a really good job on him. And take that off to him. Fantastic free kick, and, to get 2 goals, being so quiet, just shows how good of a player he is.
It just seems so little reward for Liverpool, because they were brave in many ways. You 2 have both played.
That's why I'm gutted for him. I've been a Liverpool fan, and it's just
you can see the fear.
Heartbreaking.
You can see a little bit of the fear in Barcelona. Looking at
they look extra fired up, didn't
absolutely. So Suarez on the floor, arguing with people.
Messi being verbal.
They usually control the whole, fixture itself, whether it's going to be La Liga or most of the Champions League games as well. But you could just see there was a little bit worried about how good Liverpool have been this season, and there was a little bit worried about their pace as well with Salah. And Mane especially, it's such a shame that Firmino wasn't 100% fit before the game, because I think he would have made a big difference as well if he started.
I mean, Messi did say at the start of the season, "This is the trophy I want next season." He said, and he looked like a man possessed again tonight, even though he was quiet. As you said, he was unusually animated, wasn't he?
Yeah, usually, like Ray said, they dominate, most football matches they're playing. So, he's chilled and relaxed, but you can tell he was up against it, and he was verbal, and he was hungry, and he was fired up. So, it's full credit to Liverpool as well, to how good they are and how good they've been this season.
Is it over?
I've got to say yes, because I still think Barcelona will score away from home. I think with the firepower they've got, it'd be interesting. Suarez, I love going back to Anfield. Messi, he's always going to get a goal out of something, like he did tonight. I mean, the first one, he just read the situation, just took a gamble. Look, he could have hit the crossbar and gone over. It's a totally different game. So it's a situation where, it's so disappointing for Liverpool's point of view, because they put so much into that game, and the chances they had, you'd expect them at least score 1 goal coming away tonight from the game, and that's what they'd be most disappointed about, because goals-wise, I don't think... Look, Virgil van Dijk was a little bit flat-footed. He could have maybe
the first goal.
But it was a great ball in from Alba, and he, all good strikers will make that run. It was a great run, timing of the ball as well. Just got a nip past Alisson. Second goal, a little bit of bad fortune, really, for Liverpool's point of view. Ricochet, could have gone anywhere, and it comes off the crossbar, falls in front of Messi. But that's what all good players do, read situations, and that's what he did. And the third one, it's unstoppable. You just can't do nothing about that. As a team,
yeah,
you could practice and defend as much as you like as a team.
The third one, he took a leaf out of my book.
You've scored a few like that, haven't you?
He's got a few free kicks.
But 600 goals, I mean, that is
fantastic.
600 goals. And I think that's his 30... Well, he's won 34 trophies now as a player, which this will be his 35th if he does get over the line and win the Champions League.
You can't obviously say, is he underrated, but perhaps...
Well, he's only got left foot, hasn't he?
Do we not realise just how good he is? Are we witnessing something
I certainly believe he's the best in the world.
Best ever?
Yeah, definitely. I can go back to eras of Pele and, all them sort of guys, but I just think that he's done it year in, year out. He's so robust, People try and kick him, but he's, he's up and about, and the balance he's got is amazing. It's amazing to see that Ronaldo as well was as much as a brilliant player he is. They're in the same era. You don't usually see 2 players that good in the same era together.
When Messi runs at you, it's an absolute nightmare. Being a winger myself, and I know what it's like for defenders, but I would hate to be defending and seeing that little man run at me. I'm looking for help, you know, all sorts of help. Defenders, please help me out here, because...
Well, did Liverpool do that well with him? They crowded him out tonight.
They
it
didn't
wasn't
let...
particularly scientific. It was numbers.
Get round him, don't give him space, because obviously the minute they gave him a little bit of space and he turned in that midfield, a goal came. He gets time to run at you and he can pick passes like the best people can. Going
back to Virgil van Dijk, the mistake he made, he's been unbelievable all season. He's likely to be the PFA Player of the Year as well. A, does it prove he's human, but also, B, show what it's like when you're in the Nou Camp and they are coming at you from all angles, switch off for half a second, then you're going to get punished.
That's what the best teams in the world do.
Or was that a really basic error that he should not have been caught out with?
Well, if you're getting PFA, you know, Player of the Year, you expect him to read the game a little bit better. But, you know, we don't know what was going through his head. Maybe he thought, you know, Matic was going to, you know, maybe get there first, then he, you know, kind of backed off. But, you know, he should have saw Suarez running off his left shoulder, and he should have followed that run, because Matic is blocking that ball. So if anything goes in front of him, you know, Virgil should have been trying to cover and follow on Suarez. But like I said, it's Nou Camp in the moment. It's semi-final Champions League, and he let him go, and he got punished, and that's what great teams do.
It's unfair to highlight one mistake. I mean, he's won PFA of the Player of the Year, and I doubt if the vote was next week, he wouldn't have got of it.
Well,
he's
been fantastic.
It's been unbelievable. I mean, 20 clean sheets they've had this year in the Premier League, which is a lot to do with Virgil van Dijk. The way he's, you know, not just for himself being a calm figure at the back for Liverpool, he's improved players around him. Robertson's got better next to him. Gomez was playing so well when he got injured next to him. And Trent Alexander-Arnold has improved. So I think the whole back four has improved for him being at the back. OK,
they're down, but not out. What effect do you expect this to have, if any? Because they're still fighting for the league. They've still got two games. They've got to go to Newcastle on Saturday night. How difficult is it, after a night like tonight, this is what they've got, that's the 3 games left?
Well, they'd be disappointed, but, you know, Jurgen Klopp's such a positive manager. I think they'd be sitting in that dressing room thinking, we really created good chances tonight, and maybe should at least scored 1 goal, which could have been the difference going back to Anfield. They didn't do that in the end, but they've still got 3 games left, and they're going to give everything. And, you know, what he's done for the club itself has been absolutely superb. I mean, it's been progress every single season, and I'm just amazed that if they do lose the league this year and they do possibly get 97 points, what else can you do if you're a Liverpool Football Club? Getting 97 points and coming second, that is just an amazing fact that will never happen again.
No. Is it easy enough, though, to forget what happened in midweek, different competition?
You take every game as it comes, you know. I know them players right now are sitting in that dressing room, scratching their heads, going, how have we come off this pitch 3-0 down? It's just, you know, full credit to Barcelona to continue going for 90 minutes. But now, you know, you never say never, and you never want to give up. But they will go into the second leg, you know, with full spirit, saying that we can do it. We've got a chance, because when they went to Munich, no one thought they were going to come away 3-1 and victorious in that. So, you know, it's not over, but it's going to be mighty difficult now. It's going to be mighty difficult. So now they've got to concentrate probably on the league, and, you know, hopefully Man City slip up. And like Ray said, to lose 1 game all season and the title's not in your hands, it's remarkable. It's like...
It's unbelievable.
I think what they need to do, Jermaine, is watch the half-time video onwards of the against AC Milan, when they're 3-0 down. And who knows then? You know, that could give them a little bit of inspiration.
They've done it before.
Stevie G.
Exactly. You've got to be positive as a player. Look, you're 3-0 down against one of the best... Well, we're not the best team in the world, but you've got to be positive in every game you're playing. I think Jurgen Klopp will definitely put that positivity into the team. And he'll be rocking at Anfield.
If Liverpool get an early goal, you know, I think some nerves will start creeping in the Barcelona camp, because they've not been so great in England, Barcelona. They might win 1-0 here, but they're not been great. So, early goal for Liverpool, and let's see what happens.
Let's hope so. Now, Tottenham are facing a much smaller disadvantage, just the 1-0.
Yeah.
In his post-match press conference last night, Mauricio Pochettino held up his hand and said, look, I got it wrong.
Tactically,
I got it wrong.
Well, he played 3 at the back, didn't he? With the wing-backs. But really, they only played 1 up front in Tadic, and he was dropping off quite deep as well. So that midfield, there's too many bodies in there for Ajax, and they're great at doing them little triangles, you know, 1- and 2-touch football around their players. And that's what they did. As soon as Sissoko come on, that, you know, a bit more powerful in that with him and Wanyama, they started to break things up a little bit.
What formation do you think Spurs should play away to Ajax. And don't forget, Ajax not great at home in the Champions League, are they?
Well, it all depends on the personnel, who's fit, who's not. So,
well, they've got Sonny back for a start, haven't they?
So, you know, we'll be up there. So you got to play the same formation. But, you know, well, not
three at the back again.
Not three at the back, but you put your midfield. That's their Ajax's strong point, their midfield. So you got to make sure you match that. And if you match that, then, you know, you go into the game leading. Because second half, they looked a lot better team.
They was a little bit more direct when they second half.
Yeah, and I think Song's pace as well.
With Dele and Moura, there was a little bit out of sorts, weren't they? That final third, I didn't think they created enough. You know, and Son is such a big player for them. You know, we know about Harry Kane. There's a possibility he could be back, which would be a massive boost.
A couple of people have said to me...
Could be on the bench.
I've no knowledge of the situation whatsoever, but if Kane was merely on the bench for that game, what sort of boost is that?
Absolutely massive. It really is. You know, if you need a goal, 10, 15 minutes before the end, if he's not 100% fit, he can always nick you a goal because that's how good he is. But I think Son is such an important player as well, and he was missing. He'd be back for the second leg, and they really did miss him. You could tell last night the creativity wasn't there, the running power of Spurs, and, you know, Ajax are a very good side. But, as you mentioned before, I don't think they're as good at home as they are away. And they seem to play. The only good thing, they've got something to hold on to now. If it was a 0-0 draw, they would have had to come out at home and maybe played into Spurs' hand. But they can hold back, knowing Spurs have got to go at them a little bit. Maybe they pick them off and on the break. But they're still well in this tie, only 1-0 down.